Hi, it's Leah here from the Center of Ki. In this video, I just want to share with you a really special and favorite pose of mine, which is called Halasana or Plow pose. Now, Plow pose is quite a strong pose. It's an inversion of sorts where from lying on the back, we take the legs up and over the head, trying to get the feet to touch the floor on the other side of the head. And we're supporting a lot of the weight on the shoulders, upper back, and the neck. So it is a strong pose. If for those who maybe have some neck issues, this may not be the most recommended pose for you, but it's something we can definitely work towards. And to work towards being able to do plow pose, we need to have a strong core. And that's really fundamental to this pose and being able to get into it. Also, if our back is really tight, it can make it quite challenging to get into plow pose. So I would recommend you do some core strength and lower back classes in preparation. In saying that, never do plow pose just on its own. Always do some warm-ups before you decide to go into plow pose. I think that's very important to warm up your body first, as much as possible. And also just noticing if you have any blood pressure issues, this may be counterproductive, but please check with a medical professional before you attempt to do more advanced yoga poses. So what are the benefits of doing plow? Well, firstly, it gives the spine a really good stretch because we're taking the legs up and over the head. The spine is getting a super stretch. And that's just good, you know, we want to lengthen the spine because as humans, we stand upright or we sit upright and gravity gradually makes us compact the spine. It's just a natural part of living. So by inverting the spine and stretching it, we space out the vertebrae, we strengthen the muscles of the back, we lengthen the muscles of the back. So very good for your spine. It's also really great for your digestive organs. By taking the legs up and over the head, the internal abdominal organs are going to get a massage in the process, and it also helps build core strength by activating the belly as well. It's also great for just general circulation and really good for lengthening the back and the hamstrings too. Plow is also really great for the thyroid. I had a thyroid condition many years ago, and it was one of the key poses that I included in my daily yoga practice to help treat the thyroid condition. Because when we go over with the legs, there's a really strong pressure that's put into this part of the neck where the thyroid sits, and so that gets stimulated as well. So it is important that we warm up to do plow. It is also important that we do some counter poses after plow to release any tension in the back. So I'm just going to show you how to get into plow safely. There are lots of different ways of doing this. Different yoga schools teach different methods, and it just comes down to what suits you. All right, so let's hop onto the mat and I'll show you what to do. All right, so we're going to start lying down. I've got Flint here, my new puppy, who is going to make this very challenging, no doubt. So the hands are down beside us, legs are together, and you want to pull the toes back and tuck the chin into the chest. So just by pulling the toes back and tucking the chin in, you get this length through the spine automatically. Okay? So what we want to do from there is gently press the hands into the floor, and on the breath out, we want to take the legs up to about 45 degrees. So this is where we require that belly strength to be able to hold and breathe. Holding and breathing, pushing out through the heels, pressing down through the hands and tucking the chin to the chest. And then from there we breathe in, and on the exhale, the legs come up to 90 degrees. Still trying to tuck the chin to the chest, keeping the neck long. Palms are still pressing into the floor. So in this position you can do a couple of warm-up exercises. So we can breathe in, point the toes, breathe out, pull the toes back, inhale, point, exhale, pull back. And just by working the ankles like that, we can start to also lengthen and loosen the neck. So the neck and the ankles are quite strongly related. All right, so legs are up in the air, toes are pulling back, hands are down in the mat. Take a breath in. As you exhale, push with the hands, lift the hips up so the legs come over your head. Now, the legs might be kind of up high. Eventually though, we want to get the feet to touch the floor, so the toes to the ground. Now, if you're really struggling, the belly's not quite strong enough, we can use our hands on the lower back to hold us here and support ourselves. And we want to see if we can push the hips towards the face. And another way we can also experiment here is by breathing in, pointing the toes, breathing out, pulling the toes back. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And eventually the toes might get to the floor, and then the arms can also come down to the mat as well. But don't worry if your legs are up in the air, that's okay. We get there eventually, the spine eventually lengthens. The more we practice this, the more we create belly strength, and eventually the shoulders can roll back and down, and we can push the hands into the ground. Okay, and we just try and breathe here comfortably, gently, in and out through the nose. And to extend it a little bit further, we can also interlace the hands and roll the shoulders back a little bit more, so that brings it more into the neck and the shoulders and the head. Nice deep breaths. Good, and then to come out, the arms stay down on the floor, and we want to gently, with control, so this is where the belly strength is really important, pulling the toes back and slowly bring the spine back to the mat, where the legs are now 90 degrees, the toes are back. We breathe in there, exhale, lowering to halfway again, so feeling that belly strength, just building that there, breathing in again, exhale, lowering halfway, breathe in, exhale to just off the floor, and then breathe in, and then relax everything. Now be careful you don't wriggle about afterwards, just let everything soften. It's a very strong pose, like I said, very big stretch through the neck. We don't want to twist ourselves or adjust ourselves too much when we come out. Just give ourselves a good minute to relax and just feel what has happened. Now for some of us, we might get some back pain, some discomfort in the back as a result of doing plow pose, which is normal, okay? Especially when we don't stretch it regularly, you will feel some discomfort in the back. And then we just do a counter pose to squeeze into the muscles, which looks like this, where the legs come about shoulder width wide. We're going to bend the elbows in beside us and make a fist with the thumbs on the insides, really pulling those toes back and tucking the chin in, and then we breathe in and exhale, squeeze the bottom off the floor, and then breathe in down. And then you can take the feet a little bit wider, maybe a bit wider than your mat, and again exhale, squeeze the bottom up, so putting some pressure into the back. We pull the toes back so the back lengthens, and then inhale back, and we can do one more with the legs even wider, depending on where the pain is. If it's more off the middle back, the legs are closer. If it's quite deep in the sacrum, then the legs wider. And exhale, squeezing again, pulling those toes back, and then coming down. And then you can bring the legs in and just relax again for another minute or so. So that is the basic plow. There's lots of different variations. There are therapeutic exercises we can do to get into plow more. Like I said at the start, I'm just going to sit up. There is some classes on building belly strength and back flexibility that you can do as well, which will be really helpful to be able to get into plow. And of course also side opening exercises are really good to bring some tension into the belly. So the benefits of plow are it really lengthens the spine. I can just feel after that my spine feels a lot longer. It's a great pose to do before meditating as well. It really helps energize the spine, like I've already said many times over in this video, which is a great way to promote relaxation. So I hope you enjoyed this video, learning a little bit more about Halasana or plow pose. It is a very strong pose, it's a very powerful pose. It's something that you could practice every day, or at least every second day, and it will help you stay nice and tall. It'll help strengthen your back, it'll help strengthen your core, it'll improve your digestive function, and it'll lengthen through the backs of the legs as well. So lots of benefits for practicing Halasana pose. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again.